Um, Hallelujah, let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. I don't know why song just stopped in the middle. I was expecting it to go a little bit longer, but no. Hope everyone is well. Good evening, wherever you are joining me tonight. Just quick reminder, actually not quick reminder, quick note on yesterday's live stream. I had some problems with YouTube. Someone called Mohammed Ali was not happy with my live stream, so we had to deal with that. But I think video is up now if anyone wanted to kind of watch half of it, but I gently encourage you to watch the full movie. Was put together by Muslims, which Al-Azhar okayed and Lebanon Shia Council okayed. So I had the link in the description, so go and watch that 1 hour 35 minutes movie on Muhammad. And I don't know at this stage if I will able to do follow-up of that live stream, but go and watch the video, and then it will help you to see not Islamic version of Islam. So check that out. So I'm sorry that kind of live stream terminated by Miss Sharia Chip. But yeah, as I said, Muhammad Ali apparently had a problem with my live stream. And Muhammad Afridi, you are still here and you are still saying the same thing, because I feel like I've got huge headache, my brain like zinging right now. You know, when you feel your heart is beating on your brain. So I've got that moments right now. So because of that, I'm going to put the link in the description, on the comments, and give you opportunity to come and say the things you are typing simply there. It will kind of save you from lots of like finger exercises. And also I decided every time when you make kind of such a threats, where is it? This one, for example, this one, I'm gonna treat your book not very nicely. I already made some letters from your Quran. I don't know if you have seen them. See, I've done those letters. I did those letters especially for Sajid, but so I'm gonna kind of every time when you write such a comment, I'm planning to just like take it from the Quran, and I need to be gentle. I apologize. I want to kind of tear it gentle and gentle and gentle. And then I'm going to collect them all. And then once the Quran is all being like teared into the parts, I'm going to cook it. So that's my plan. So just deal with the topic what I'm talking about, you know. Most of times I really don't care. I think it's a platform for you to use it however you want to use it. Sometimes it just becomes distraction to others and people complain. Therefore, I have to step in. Anyway, so I've got so bad headache. So what I want to do in this live stream is kind of getting be up to date with Mohammed Hijab's secret hotel sex life, and then provide the updates if you haven't watched it. I really hope that you watched it, because I want us to. I can't do cats. I just want to kind of pass this as quick as I can, and then take it from there. So if you want to get my attention, put @ in front of DCCI Ministries. And also, my dear moderators, I don't have much rules for the chat. Main reason is I don't get to see all of it. Sometimes it just gets my eye, and then I put that message on the screen, and then I see person complaining why I put the message on the screen. So you are in the chat, you are seeing what is happening, but overall, I think it's important that people express their freedom of speech. if someone wants to express that they want to delete me, all those kind of things, that's absolutely fine. I don't get offended by those kind of things. But if someone is sharing someone's personal details, yeah, that I don't have space for that in my live streams. So don't kind of time people out or block people because they said the things you don't like, but do that if they are sharing someone else's personal details. That's not acceptable at all. And please, those of you in the chat, do not copy and paste the same message. If you want to get my attention, just put @ in front of DCCI Ministries. Hopefully I will see it. Didn't I have email from you, Demon Soul? I don't think I read it, but I saw there was an email from you. I'll deal with them later. I'm behind with things. Okay, so up to date with Mohammed Hijab and Aisha thing. Main reason I want to be first of all, I want to be up to date with it. Also, I want you to be up to date with it because Muslims don't want us to talk about it. There is something, if they don't want to talk about it, you just like, yeah, there is something dodgy there. Let's dig into that. You want to kind of figure that out. Also, there is, at this stage, it seems there is intentional injustice as well as they're intentionally degrading women. So you just want to be a voice for the voiceless. In that sense, it is, you want to talk about it. I'll kind of bring you up to date by assuming that you haven't watched it. Please watch it. Just go to Behind Veils and go to Aisha's YouTube channel and then pick up all these videos and then watch it and pray for Behind Veils as well as Aisha. I do still concern for their well-being because the way of Dawah Mafia works. So what I'm gonna do is, I think, actually I don't know where we left. We did looked at how after the videos came up, Mohammed Hijab stepped in with AI voice and produced a video simply denying all these things. Not only denying, but expressing that Aisha was the one who was obsessed with her, harassing him, all those kind of things. And then in that, they published her full name, and then there were addresses, there were threats to individuals who were involved. And then Ali Dawah stepped in and then standing for the defense of Mohammed Hijab. And what we learned from that overall, Aisha and Muhammad met during the Islamic events, where Mohammed Hijab was kind of advisor for certain events. Aisha is going through a divorce with a daughter. Mohammed Hijab is the one who is advising her, and then as the time goes on, so that is end of 2021. As the time goes on, Mohammed Hijab, we looked at some of the messages, was sending her messages 2 o'clock in the morning. And Aisha expressed that he started pursuing her, and then he asked her to be his wife. He asked her to accept him as her husband. As the conversation started, Mohammed Hijab got in touch with Aisha's father. All was okay, and then he paused. He kind of did this silent treatment. 8 months after that, Hijab steps in again and then asks Aisha to marry him again because he can't like after 8 months he proposes her again. At this stage they kind of decided to go ahead, and Mohammed Hijab doesn't want to meet with Aisha's father, all that. And then we learned reason for that is because Mohammed Hijab's first wife is also from the same town, same city where Aisha's family is. So of course, if Hijab turns up there, everyone is gonna say, "Oh, he's the Mohammed Hijab." But he's not here to visit his in-laws. He's here to visit strangers' house. So that would probably kind of cause problems. So he doesn't want to visit her family. Also, he says to her, I want you to keep this marriage secret from my first wife. Why? Because in the past, my second wives kind of exposed me, and then that caused some problems with my first wife. I don't want to go through that. Therefore, let's keep it secret from my first wife. And Aisha is okay with that. Mohammed Hijab is being amazing Muslim Dawah gang member, provides lots of Islamic teachings to justify how he wants the marriage. So he finds references that he doesn't need to meet with her family, all that. It's amazing that how when you need like fatwa, there is website, you can just grab the fatwa. He gets all these references, and then he's okay at the Zoom meeting, but doesn't want to show his face. Why? Because he said the video we reviewed, apparently people would blackmail him to do things. Islamic Muslims are so trusting one another. On that, they have the nikah on Zoom meeting, even though her family is not there, all those kind of things. And then Mohammed Hijab, after the marriage, while she's thinking, I'm going to be his second wife, after the marriage, it turns out that actually that was a Misyar marriage. Mohammed Hijab just wants to have sex marriage with her in a hotel. And as he comes to the hotel, he doesn't want people to see his face. So he's going to cover his face and then meet with her hotel for the sex reasons. And then there was a strange comment. He expressed that she would be suitable for such a thing. Like, I'll meet with you in a hotel and have sex with you. You are the most suitable woman for that. That's like already very, very concerning. Anyway, after all these things come out, of course, as a good Muslim, Hijab denied all these kind of things. And then Ali Dawah stepped in to defend Hijab. He expressed that actually Aisha got in touch with Ali Dawah back in July of 2023. And Ali Dawah interviewed her. Ali Dawah talked to her, and then it turned up actually Ali Dawah was lying. Yeah, it's just different names. So Muta and Misyar is kind of the similar thing. Both of them are prostitution and have different names for their justifications, for their labeling. With the Muta, man is paying for the pleasure he receives. With the Misyar, she kind of gives up her right, like it's Yasir Kadi was expressing that as a convenient husband, convenient marriage. So I don't want a nagging wife, I don't want nagging husband, so I just need sex for once a month. Therefore, I need a Misyar marriage, in that kind of thing. So Ali Dawah, apparently it turns up that Ali Dawah, she got in touch with Ali Dawah July 2023. Ali Dawah interviewed her in somewhere August or September 2023. Then she got in touch first with him. Ali Dawah didn't know who she was talking about. As the time went on, before the interview, Ali Dawah figured out it is Mohammed Hijab. Goes and then does the recording and then shows to Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab says, oh no, she's harassing me. She's obsessed with me. Hijab showed him the messages back 2021 when they were first communicating. And then after that, Ali Dawah believed in Mohammed Hijab and delete the interview. Aisha apparently had lots of trust to Ali Dawah, published the interview a few weeks ago. In that just like kind of small thing to bring to our attention, Ali Dawah expressed that Ali Dawah said he wants to meet her with his wife. His wife is going to be there. Can she come? And even Ali Dawah said like, oh, she came and then told us the story. His wife was so upset that she didn't even look at her, all those kind of things. Because, you know, Ali Dawah is like awesome. He listens his wife, all that. But it turned up actually that's not the case, since Aisha shared some of the messages. Aisha is the one requesting wife to be there. And then Ali Dawah says, oh no, my wife is busy, come and meet with me outside of Speaker's Corner. So that's how they are trying to arrange the meeting before the recording stuff. So there are kind of lots of dishonesty in the side of Ali Dawah. I don't think anyone is surprised by that. So those messages were all over Aisha's YouTube channel. Anyway, as those kind of things going on, we reviewed a video where Muslims got the confession from Aisha, where Aisha is saying, oh, I made this all up. Mohammed Hijab is the innocent. Even though these text messages by Aisha was published, where Mohammed Hijab is saying, oh yeah, it was for sex marriage, do you want it or not? Mohammed Hijab was offering her to check Mohammed from Speaker's Corner, all those kind of things. But apparently, Aisha said, oh no, I just made it all up. And then it turns up, that's where we are picking up. It turns up that Muslims, you wonder why they would do such a thing. Muslims are simply using AI to make clips from Aisha's voice and then simply just like lie about it. So apparently they used AI to create the voice of Aisha and confession of Aisha. So that's where we are picking up. We are first going to bring our attention to Behind Veil, video titled Mohammed Hijab used AI to fake Aisha's voice. And then here's the title, here's the proof, as well as after that, I want to look at, I watched very disturbing video yesterday by Daniel Haqiqatjou. So I want to bring our attention to what Daniel Haqiqatjou say in such a situation, kind of want to pick that up. So let me just go and then play a bit of Behind Veil, and then after that I want to bring our attention mainly to Daniel Haqiqatjou and his take on in such situation, which is kind of his simply it's some disturbing thing. I find it's disturbing, but we will see. What do you think? As it happens, just like not only I've got like bad headache, now my computer is living in live sport. Let's just pause it again. I know it's very annoying. I really know it is annoying, but I really don't know how to fix it. So
2 days after we published a video on the case against Mohammed Hijab, there was a response video published on a channel called False Accusations. There have been a lot of attacks and false, misleading, and fabricated information that has been relayed from this channel. So it is imperative we take a closer look. This channel was created in November of 2023, just a few months after the divorce between Mohammed Hijab and Sister Aisha. If you look a little closer, you'll notice the handle of this channel is called False Accusations UK. Apparently, it was specifically created to address so-called false accusations within the UK.
Before we begin, let's make something clear. This channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab, nor are we based in the UK.
Interesting. So the channel handle is False Accusations UK, but they claim they are not based in the UK. In addition, the channel was created back in 2023 without ever publishing a single video. But now they magically pop up and they want you to believe they are working independently and feel compelled to defend Mohammed Hijab.
It might come across bad, but this guy is like awesome. This guy is awesome. I don't know what he does for a living, but he's awesome the way he analyzes things, stuff. Yeah, good question. So we did look at that in one of the live streams. So where I think it was Sister K. We were discussing this looks like so much Mohammed Hijab's attitude and the way he would talk and then deal with things. And Sister K find the date of when the channel was started, and then this was the only video in that channel. And very basic. I don't know if it's very basic, but if someone puts a video and there is nothing in that channel, and then the video is all about defending Mr. X, and then states, well, this has nothing to do with Mr. X, yet we do have access to his text messages, all those kind of things. You just wonder. And same text messages Ali Dawah had access to. You just wonder, how did that happened? But the world of miracles.
Let's dig a little bit deeper on the claim that this channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab. On April 6th, we published a video titled Deceived by Mohammed Hijab, The Secret Marriage That Broke Me. On April 8th, this channel published a response video titled Behind the Obsession, The Troubling Story of a Stalker Fixated on Mohammed Hijab. Just minutes prior to release, Mohammed Hijab posted a tweet, I will release a video in 30 to 60 minutes, which will directly respond to some questions. He didn't say an anonymous group will be releasing a video. He said, I will release a video, hence clearly stating that this video was from him. After all, he states it will directly respond to some questions. And then
So one of the thing in here is behind veil hasn't put together that Mohammed Hijab is so camera shy. He's so camera shy. He gets people to do his dirty works.
Days later, on April 12th, he specifically states in the original video I made. He is definitively stating that he made the video. There is no room for ambiguity. It is clear cut. Mohammed Hijab states that he made the video. The video released on April 8th. A video that featured a cryptic AI narrator while referring to himself in third person so that he wouldn't have to deny the allegations and instead could lead the public down a path of deflection and diversion. But here's where it gets really interesting and deeply troubling. Just a few days back on April 26th, the same channel featuring the same AI narrator released a follow-up video just 1 hour after our release of the interview between Ali Dawah and Sister Aisha. Except this time, they quickly put emphasis that this channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab.
Yeah.
This channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab.
So how did this
Oh yeah, let me see what he's gonna say. I didn't watch the video, I just downloaded the video. So
back channel get a private voice note that was sent only to Mohammed Hijab from Dr. Abu Aya? How did they get a voice note that was sent privately from Sheikh Mohammed Torana directly to Mohammed Hijab? And most importantly, how is it that Mohammed Hijab initially stated that he created the first video with the AI narrator, but is now trying to distance himself from the channel? He has been caught in a series of clear contradictions, clear lies. But what could possibly be the motive? Why claim you...
Okay, so Hijab putting up this channel back in 2023, soon after, or the time that he's going through divorce and Aisha is struggling with lots of things. And it seems to me that he already knew, like, yeah, this is gonna hit back in one point, even though he's been very intentional to not leave any trace of him. Like, he didn't want to have the Zoom meeting with the father with his picture on. He wanted to go to the hotel with the face covered, all those kind of things. And now it just messed up. As he wrote it, he's hanged himself in those things. So the video channel created, and then second video of the channel is, this channel has nothing to do with Mohammed Hijab. Yet that very first video or second video, and then that very channel has access to Mohammed Hijab's phone. It has access to picture screenshots of Mohammed Hijab's text messages. It has access to voicemail that has been left to Mohammed Hijab. Beside your husband, okay, beside your husband or your wife, who listens to your voicemails? I even know relationships where husband and the wife don't even know what is each other's password, and they don't like listen to each other's voicemail. But like, sake of the argument, let's say, how many times you let your wife or your husband to listen your voicemail or go through your text messages? Very, very, if there is a possibility, that possibility is like very, very low, okay? Yet, there's behind the Responding to Accusation YouTube channel is not Mohammed, in case, I don't know, but it doesn't look like he's Mohammed Hijab's wife, but has access to Mohammed Hijab's voice messages, has access to Mohammed Hijab's text messages. So are you like, am I supposed to think, oh yeah, because Mohammed Hijab is like very public figure, everyone simply goes and then get access to his voicemails and his text messages. This channel, which has nothing to do with Mohammed Hijab, got access to them. Concerning, isn't it? Concerning.
Created the first video, but then have the same AI narrator state that there is no affiliation. It is very simple. Either you have bipolar personality disorder, or you are frantically trying to remove any form of liability, both legally and in the court of public opinion. In the second video, the same AI avatar that Hijab featured in the first video now relays an alleged confession by Sister Aisha. This time, somehow in the past few days, they magically captured her speaking to an anonymous mufti and confessing that she didn't actually marry Hijab.
So did you marry Hijab or not?
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on.
Do you think this is fair on him and his family?
With all due respect to yourself, I can take my rights with my own hand.
Let's be clear. The speaker's distinctive accent makes it immediately evident that it is. There is no ambiguity. We've run this audio through advanced software designed to detect AI-generated voices, and as clearly shown on the screen, this recording doesn't match any of the indicators.
First off, as someone who has spoken at...
I think we did stream on that. We went through the video, was put together by Mohammed Hijab on his AI YouTube channel titled Game is Over. I think that's that video where, yeah, she's confessing to this this gentleman. But in that, what I thought, I am not that much into AI. I don't like, I figured out actually you have to pay for ChatGPT or something. You have to pay for it to use it. So in that, what I thought was they put her under the too much pressure, and then they recorded her. That's what I thought. But apparently, it looks like, yeah, it's AI, but let's see.
Great lengths with Sister Aisha, this sounds nothing like her. It is clearly a desperate attempt to try and deceive the public. But let's not take my word for it. Let's use the same AI detection tool they used to validate whether or not this was AI. Let's head over to 11 Labs, a website used to generate AI voices. Here, we'll go ahead and upload the extracted clip of what they claim is Sister Aisha's confession.
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on. With all due respect to yourself, I can take my rights with my own hand.
So he's just using the same
Subhanallah.
website.
It states that there is a 98% probability that this audio was generated by 11 Labs. I don't know how much sloppier Hijab and his incompetent deepfake team could get. Not only did they generate a voice clip that didn't sound like her, but they literally showed the world exactly where they did it. All while trying to dupe and deceive the public by showing a screenshot trying to validate their malicious claim.
So, a few things. If this never happened, let's say, if Mohammed Hijab didn't deceive this lady into normal second wife and then he changed his mind, it's gonna be hotel sex wife. If that never happened, he would meet with the ladies cursing prayer challenge. That's the first thing. Second thing is, Mohammed Hijab likes being in the center of attention. He would simply stand in front of the camera and then tell the world, all these accusations are false. He wouldn't send his AI dog or his Ali Dawah dog after people. But right now what we are hearing is he's disturbed by what happened so much, and they want to set an example from this. Therefore, they are simply like using AI to even make AI to say the things that she never said. In a sense, actually, that's very dangerous, because someone can just like record anything and then say, okay, AI, use voice of that person and then read this to me, and then AI is going to read it to you, and then you end up in a place where like someone is just sending a video that, oh, you said this. You don't remember if you ever said it, but whatever in that video is pretty disturbing. So that's what they've done to Aisha. And Behind Veil picked up and then checked the same website. To figure out if this is what Aisha said or not. And then apparently it turns up, no, it is 98% possibility. Of course, there's 2% possibility there that it is Aisha, but 98 is very high possibility that this is AI generated voice. Dangerous. But then the question comes, why Mohammed Hijab is so afraid of this conversation to be discussed and circulate in a way that it makes him to go to AI. Why he doesn't want it? Why he doesn't want to stand up for the rights of his Muslim sisters? Or like I know and heard from observation, I know and heard like how some of the individuals are involved with such a sin, like in Muslim, like they don't even see this as a sin. Like I know Muslim Dawah men whose name end up being in like Europe sexual list. There was something like, I can't remember what it was called fully, but there was something in Amsterdam that name of the people came up in that list. And they just simply took the mic and then said, well, this is halal Islamically, so what? So he could, all he needs to do is say, as it says in other videos. All he needs to put his face on the camera and then say, this is Islamically halal, what is your problem? But something he's setting up, that putting the woman in a place that, well, if you make such a claims or if you tell the truth, we are going to use AI to destroy you. Strange. Not surprising though.
In addition, they state,
The voice note is a recorded conversation with a qualified mufti who has chosen to remain anonymous.
so now they want to protect this random and anonymous mufti's identity. But when it came to Sheikh Torana,
Think about it. Someone is just expressing, or someone is expressing, I have the confession of Aisha, who is trying to destroy the career of Mohammed Hijab. Okay? And I've got all these certificates. I am identified as Mufti. I'm just going to send the video to AI YouTube channel, not even to Mohammed Hijab or Ali Dawah, but AI channel. And then I don't want anyone to know who is this, who did this recording. How did this Mufti got in touch with AI channel? Because that video didn't go to Mohammed Hijab. That video didn't go to Ali Dawah, or that video didn't even go to Sheikh Mohammed of Speaker's Corner. Video simply went to AI YouTube channel. Who is behind that AI YouTube channel, Mohammed Hijab?
who did not want his name to be used anywhere, they happily disclosed it and have used his voice clips in nearly every video.
Sheikh Mohammed of Speaker's Corner, Mr. Tarani, Mohammed Tarani's permission.
Mohammed Tarane.
This completely contradictory reasoning just does not add up. Unless, of course, you have no ethical or religious basis and you're in damage control mode and doing anything and everything to save yourself from drowning. But the intriguing narrative continues,
where she explains that what transpired was a failed engagement, not a marriage.
So the same AI narrator that Hijab initially utilized, where he claimed to have created the video, is now relaying that Sister Aisha confesses to a failed engagement.
What about the sisters Aisha's text messages that Mohammed Hijab was asking for about sex marriage in a hotel? It is failed engagement. Well, for engagement, men and women are giving consent to, men and women are discussing, okay, let's engage so that we are going to get married. But that AI video first was put together by this accusation YouTube channel, was saying, oh, there is nothing like that. Mohammed Hijab was simply Mohammed Hijab was simply harassed, and then this lady called Aisha was simply obsessed with him. But now it moved from that. First, this is all lie. Now, oh no, here's a little bit of it. It was engagement. Why in the first video they didn't say, oh, there was an engagement, it fell apart?
And this time, the AI narrator, as an extension of Hijab, does not deny such a claim. So it went from being a crazy stalker to now being a failed engagement. I guess that makes sense when you keep trying to change your story, especially after we released an audio recording of Sister Aisha's father testifying that Hijab had called him twice, seeking his daughter's hand in marriage.
Where she explains that what transpired was a failed engagement, not a marriage.
Yeah, and while they were frantically rushing to create this video, they forgot to AI generate the audio of her explaining this so-called failed engagement. I mean, after all, the video they released is titled Full Confession, yet we only got a 10-second AI-generated audio. I guess they didn't have the time to fabricate the rest of the conversation. We reached out to Sister Aisha.
Actually, it takes, like, you need to be pretty skillful to just, like, keep lying. Maybe AI or Mohammed Hijab is like, didn't want everyone to know that he's skillful on that.
She was in complete shock. How far are they willing to go in order to deceive the public and to silence her? First, it was a barrage of character assassination attempts to deflect from the allegations. Then you had 5 to 10 second sound bites taking things completely out of context. Then you even had Dawah presenting evidence that Sister Aisha had photoshopped a text message, which was quickly debunked and proven to have been maliciously fabricated in an effort to frame her. A matter in which Dawah remains completely silent and has gone hiding in his shell. And now you have an AI-generated voice trying to impersonate Sister Aisha, all while Mohammed Hijab shares the clip, laughing hysterically. And then,
just one thing, one practical thing. So, first time I come across Mohammed Hijab response to these so-called accusations was from Mohammed Hijab's link. And now the video gave me full confession is being tweeted by whom? By Mohammed Hijab. So a channel doesn't have any link with Mohammed Hijab, somehow is in the radar of Mohammed Hijab, and Mohammed Hijab knows what they are publishing. I'm not subscribed to Behind Veil. Most of times, like, someone sends me a message, oh, Behind Veil just put this video, I'll go and check it. So someone informs me. False Accusations YouTube channel, False Accusations YouTube channel, who is radar that channel is, that Dawah knows that video is up, Mohammed Hijab knows video is up there. And that channel only has 2 videos. You have channels has 700 videos. You keep eye on what is the next video. A channel has only few subscribers with 2 videos. Why that channel gets your attention and then you check what they have published, Mohammed Hijab? And how convenient it is that channel published only 2 videos, and all those only 2 videos are about you denying what you did. Interesting.
Mohammed Hijab shares the clip, laughing hysterically. And then you have his partner in crime, Dawah, demanding an apology from myself because of this AI-generated confession. Both of these guys are not just clowns. They are delusional. They are liars. They are masters of deception. They are criminals. In response to their pathetic attempts to try and frame her, Sister Aisha took a firm oath, a challenge, and a mubahada against Mohammed Hijab.
A channel called False Accusations published a video titled Full Confession, Game Over, that was released on April 26, 2025. Around the minute 1 and 10 seconds mark, a deep fake voice falsely claims that I confessed to never marrying Mohammed Hijab. This was a repulsive lie. I hereby declare a mubahala against Mohammed Hijab. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, I stand before Allah, the one who knows what is hidden and what is revealed. I declare with full knowledge of what this means. I never made those statements. I didn't marry him. That is not my voice. I never had such conversation. If I am lying in what I have said, then I ask you, Allah, to send your curse upon me, to disgrace me in this world and the next, and to make me a warning sign for those who lie. Ya Allah, send your judgment upon the one who is lying. اللهم اجعل لعنتك على الكاذب منا في الدنيا قبل الآخرة وأظهر الحق واضحا جليا I ask you, Allah, to bring justice not tomorrow but in this life. Expose the liar amongst us for the world to see, and let the truth be seen. وحسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
It makes you wonder how, while she's going through all this, how come she still thinks this is like has nothing to do with Islam? It's just like it's just worrying. It's just worrying. I did make a claim. Someone wants me to prove my claim. So I did say when Ali Dawah put up a video and then said she came and then they had even ice cream. Ali Dawah was with his wife and then Aisha came stuff. So here is the screenshot. Let me just go back. So conversation. It is about how his wife is busy, she cannot come, therefore he wants to meet her outside of the park, outside of the speaker's corner, all those kind of things. So doesn't look like that. Kind of makes you to kind of question Ali Dawah's full story, not because like, of course, don't think like, oh, that story was unbelievable at the first time, because Ali Dawah already pointed out that he doesn't listen his wife talks to him with the whiteboard, all this. Probably you were just like, oh yeah, I don't believe him because of all this background information he shared about his wife. In the video, Ali Dawah was saying, oh, my wife even point this out, all that. But there are text messages from July 2023 where it's been expressed she can't make it. Ali Dawah is happy to meet her outside of speaker's corner. It is cursing prayer, so individuals come together and then they just curse one another. Whoever is truthful, other person is like just being cursed. Yeah, it's like, I don't know what is the kind of example of what kind of example can be given on that. On the cowboy movies, you know, two people are like having their guns on them and then walking distance and then they are shooting one another. It's the same, similar thing to that. They're just like cursing one another. Okay, so that was the clip from Behind Veils on how pointing how Mohammed Hijab created all these AI voice of Sister Aisha. And I want to bring our attention to video was put together, live stream was done yesterday by Daniel Haqiqatjou. So you can go and watch the full live stream on his channel. It is titled, it was titled, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, let me check if I have the name of it. Examining the accusations against Mohammed Hijab, Haqiqatjou show episode 55. So I cut it out. There are lots of things in that video. I just wanted to bring our attention to certain things they were saying Islamically. So hopefully we will go through that one and then take it from there.
Many women.
Okay, McDonald's nikah. What does she mean by McDonald's nikah? So it's referring to the idea of essentially a Misyar marriage, and we'll define what Misyar.
So what Haqiqatjou did was kind of go through a clip of Aisha where she's expressing how it affected her faith, and Daniel Haqiqatjou picked that up and then like, how can this affect your faith? Even if we take the face value, there is nothing should be affecting your faith. So that's kind of overall his intake on that.
Our marriage is but it's a marriage that the mahar is through like a McDonald's meal. You give the mahar of a McDonald's meal, and there are two male witnesses, and there is consent of the woman and the man. They get married. This is a valid nikah contract. There are witnesses. Maybe there's a wali as well. And they might say, oh, no, we take the opinion that there is no wali needed in this situation. It's very questionable how that is actually implemented, because this is like a minority opinion that no wali is needed, and it's only in specific cases, like for a divorcee, a woman who is already passed, has been divorced, or maybe she has a certain age. But putting those details aside, this is what she calls a McDonald's nikah. Well, is this valid in Islam? Is this a valid marriage in Islam? Just because you have titled it McDonald's nikah to give it a bad name, is it actually valid according to the Sharia? And you'll have different opinions. You'll have different opinions, but the mahar being only a McDonald's meal, that doesn't invalidate a marriage. If you go to a woman and her wali and say, I'll marry you and your mahar is this Big Mac, halal Big Mac with fries, this is your mahar.
I wasn't gonna cut it. I just wanted him to finish all the topic he's talking about, this McDonald's nikahs. But the way he speaks of it, you can even see like his face expression, like how he's smiling, he thinks it's funny, all that. It's pretty disturbing. It is pretty disturbing. And apparently he's upset. That people are calling it McDonald's nikah, because Islamically it's okay. Who do you think you are, like labeling such a thing? If someone wants their marriage price to be McDonald's, or if someone wants their marriage price to be 2 million pounds, who do you think you are to commenting on that? Just like concerning. But the way he says it, like with this like smiling, he thinks it's funny. Like everything is like so disgusting, and then they end up in Islam, and then they've got this label called halal. Therefore, yeah, we can do this. I want to have sex with someone. Oh, I can't do it because it will be zina. I'm going to get the label of halal label. Let's make it Islamic.
He has the freedom to offer a Big Mac, and you have the freedom to accept a Big Mac as your mahar.
See, freedom
but after
Islam
you've accepted
gives you.
it, don't complain that, oh, that was a McDonald's nikah, it's invalid. So the value of the mahar, as long as the mahar is given, that doesn't affect the validity of the marriage. That doesn't affect the validity of the marriage according to the majority of ulama.
So as long it's like free choice of woman to accept it, and then if she doesn't accept it, it's absolutely fine. Like you read from traditions, like even a date can be seen as mahar. In here, yeah, McDonald's meal is mahar. Who do you think are kind of labeling them and using them in such a terms? But yeah, Islam gives freedom. Islam gives freedom to bride to choose it or reject it. And in this occasion, Daniel Haqiqatjou is saying like, yes, mahar is given, marriage is valid.
Women would have been saved. Many kids wouldn't have had to cry their eyes out in situation of distress, when their single mothers were going through extreme struggles, dealing with whatever they are going through. If I would have spoken,
This is emotional, like, oh, the little children are screaming and crying, and their mommies are screaming and crying, and this distress and the struggles, like, it's hard to take this. The only people who take this seriously are those who are moved by women's tears.
Listen
you're
this very
moved
carefully.
by
Learn
women's
from
tears,
it.
a woman just cries, then the whole world will be corrupted. The whole world will be corrupted. There can be no justice because your standard of justice is whoever is crying the most and whoever is shedding the most tears is the victim and has been mistreated. That's not correct. That's not what Islam accepts. Women are not always the victims. In many cases, women are the aggressors. Women are the ones who are committing the injustice. Women are the ones who are engaged in deception. Sometimes it's the man, sometimes it's the woman. Just because the woman cries, the only difference is that the woman has this extra weapon at her disposal, this extra tactic at her disposal, which is her tears. Her tears are an extra weapon that she can deploy. And all of these divorced women that we see, and you can test this in your own life, they all bring out the waterworks. They all claim to be victims. They all claim to be victims of abusive men who didn't fulfill their promises. I defy you to find a single woman, unless she is like Khadija radiallahu anha and the Sahabiyat, like that level of morality, which are few and far between in this day and age. Will she come and say, no, my husband treated me well. He gave me all my rights. He fulfilled all his promises. We just had a parting of ways, something like that. Or he divorced me and I have no complaints against him. In 99.9% of situations, they have complaints. They have accusations. They claim abuse. The waterworks come out. So as men, especially men who claim to be leaders, men who claim to be upholders of truth and justice, we have to understand how these conflicts play out and the types of emotional tactics that are used by women.
Sooner.
Let me just point out. Wasn't the mother of the believers Aisha who cried all night when she was accused of immorality? And Muhammad fought for it. Muhammad took her word. Let me see if I remember that. Sahih Bukhari, 274. I cried that night until morning. My tears wouldn't stop and I couldn't sleep. Mother of the believers cried and then Muhammad fell into it. So now crying is bad. Same for Hafsa. She cried. Just go to sunnah.com and then write cry. It shows you. Hafsa cried when there were problems in the house. Apparently when victim cries, you cannot trust that. I'll tell you something. In England, we do have something called victim statement. In victim statement, you kind of tell what happened to you, and then there is a part they ask you, so how this affected you? And in that part, you just kind of put together the psychological effects of what happened to you. And recently I reported something, and then Matt responded back to me, and then so met with the criminal. And then in that, Matt asked criminal to put together the victim statement. Not the victim. They didn't ask me to provide the victim statement, but because I said this has happened, he's the gentleman who did this, apparently it affected him negatively. And then he published his victim statement. Actually, he's not publishing. He's telling the police, and then police is writing. In his victim statement, police writes, as he tells me this, he's crying. Yeah. police buys it in England. Mohammed bought it when Aisha did it. And now Daniel Haqiqatjou cannot buy that well. No, Daniel Haqiqatjou doesn't buy it. So if woman is crying, no, they are not victim according to Haqiqatjou.
Many kids, single mothers, reverse sisters wouldn't have been harmed directly or indirectly. I decided to come out publicly about my...
So she's on a mission to save these poor revert mothers and these poor Muslim women.
Poor revert mothers? Those are very poor revert mothers whom you and Mohammed Hijab sat down in a live stream, 6 hours or 7 hours live stream, and then made fun of them that, oh, they are willing to become the second wife, all that. So now you are upset that someone is using their examples to give them voice. Islam is I'll put the reference in the description in a bit. I'll put the reference in a bit. Now he's upset that Aisha, who is being abused by Mohammed Hijab, she wants to be voice for the reverts whom Mohammed Hijab and Daniel Haqiqatjou sat down and then made fun of them. We did live stream about it where they were talking about how many Dawah members and imams in UK are having second wives. What is the percentage of them? And then Mohammed Hijab was saying, from my experiences, and then he pauses and then observing, and then they just laugh at it stuff. It is the reverts are these converts into Islam. They are the ones who are taking it better. Aisha is noticing there is an abuse in that. Aisha wants to bring voice to them. Aisha wants to give them voice. But Haqiqatjou is not happy about it.
Again, I'm not claiming that she is lying. I'm not making any type of claim about her accusations, but look at the form that the accusations are taking publicly. And look at what Allah says in the Quran. So Allah says in Surah 4:148, Allah does not like the public mention of evil except by one who has been wronged. Illa man dhulim, except the one who has been oppressed. So if someone has been oppressed, then they can speak publicly and say, I've been oppressed, I've been wronged. But Allah doesn't give you the right to go beyond that, to go beyond that wronging or that claimed injustice that you've suffered. And Allah doesn't give others the right to come and start advocating on your behalf publicly. Someone come and say, oh yeah, this person is right, this person is wrong. How do you know? You don't have any authority. You're not the one who was wronged. And this is what we see over and over again with some of these women. They stay anonymous. They stay because they don't want the harm of backlash. They want to smear the public figure. So they go to others and have others advocate on their behalf. And this is not allowed Islamically. This is not allowed Islamically. Because of this verse.
Why he is not happy? He's not happy because, like, okay, you are a victim, just shut up. Just talk about yourself. Why are you bringing the name of the criminal on the picture? Why are you going after brother Mohammed Hijab? Yeah, Aisha, who do you think you are? Going after this giant, big, fat man, part-time stripper. Okay, you are just victim, just shut up. That's the mindset. Let me put this on the screen. Share screen. So this is the hadith. Bukhari 274, where Aisha is talking about, my tears never stopped, nor did I sleep. Okay, so that's where Aisha is crying, and then Prophet of Islam simply fall into her tears. That's when she's accused of committing adultery. Remember, she was so little, she didn't even know how to come home. They didn't even notice that they left her behind because she was still little girl as Muhammad's wife. So in that story where they accused her committing adultery, she cried all night, and Muhammad was simply like, oh, poor Aisha. We need 4 witnesses, Aisha. We don't have 4 witnesses, so you are innocent. Mohammed Hijab did everything so that he doesn't need 4 witnesses. I'll just come to Zoom meeting with audio, not my face, so that there is no screenshots. I'll come to the hotel by covering my face, so there is no pictures. We don't need any witnesses. We don't need any witnesses.
Because of this ayah, Allah does not love the public mention of evil except the one who has been wronged. So if you're not the one who has wronged, why are you speaking? Who gave you the right to be a judge and to decide, yeah, this person has been wrong, I'm going to come out and speak out against this? That is...
Yeah, Aisha, why are you speaking about this, Aisha? Okay, so you were a victim, just shut up. That's the mind of Muslims. That's the mind of Muslims. That's what Ali Dawah did to her as well. That's what Sheikh Muhammad did to her. That's what Hamza did to her as well. And then she reached out the others. Yeah.
It's not allowed in Islam. Only the one. Illa man dhulim. This is the clear statement of Allah. And then there's another hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, the whole of the Muslim is sacred to his fellow Muslim.
Yeah, so this is the part where he just simply talking about why it was wrong of her to go public and attack Mohammed Hijab. She should be she should keep it to herself, and what she's doing is not
Misyar
Islamic.
marriage.
So now let's hear about this Misyar marriage.
Misyar marriage is a type of marriage where the woman voluntarily gives up or forgoes some of her rights. So in a marriage contract, the husband agrees to maintain his wife, provide her maintenance for living, for food, for clothing. He agrees to give her time, spend time with her. He agrees to spend nights with her. And this is an obligation that he has. If he does not meet the obligation, then this considers taking from her rights. This is oppression. And she has a claim against him in court, in an Islamic court. But in Misyar, you can forego some of those rights. A woman can say, okay, you don't have to pay my rent. I'll marry you and you don't have to pay my rent.
Listen
Or,
this very carefully.
I will marry you, you can pay my rent, and maybe I'll see you only once a month. Or maybe I'll see you only on the weekends. I'll give up, I'll agree to be a second wife or a third wife because I need the companionship, but you don't have to spend on me, you don't have to spend time with me. This is a Misyar marriage.
So
now,
in a short way, when woman agrees to be, I learned the word the other day. In a short way, this is when woman agrees to be sex buddy for man. Okay, that's how it is. We just meet for sex. You don't need to pay for anything. You don't need to bring You don't need to put the rubbish out. You don't need to hoover the floor or wash the dishes. All are like we are sex buddies.
Something that is valid Islamically. Many scholars said that this is a permitted type of marriage.
Yeah.
Many scholars have said this is permitted. Others have said, no, this is not permitted. And why it's not permitted, it's because of the bad consequences. Inevitably, there are going to be bad consequences in this type of marriage. And this is just known through human psychology. Even if a woman agrees that, okay, I'll agree to be your wife and you don't have to pay for anything, even if she agrees to that, that's what she thinks now. What is she going to think tomorrow? What is she going to think next month? In the next 6 months, next year? And psychologically, women have this reaction, and it's part of hypergamy. And we know what hypergamy means. It's a woman's desire to be with a man who is of higher status than she is, someone who is stronger than her, more capable, more wealthy than her. Women want to be taken care of by a strong man. That's what they desire. And that's part of the attraction that she has to a man is his ability to provide and to take care. So if she is not being provided for, instead of him paying for her rent, she has to pay the rent and she's sleeping with him, that creates a lack of attraction, and eventually it leads to being repulsed. Eventually it leads to being repulsed by the man. I'm sleeping with him and he's not even paying for my rent. I'm sleeping with him and he's not even providing for my food. Even if
it's good to know that he knows so much about this practical side of or side effects of such a relationships. It's very amazing to see that where he's coming from.
She's a millionaire, even if she's rich and she has all the resources, and he is just like living on a minimum wage job, and she agrees voluntarily, yeah, I'll marry you and you don't have to pay for anything. Even if she agrees with that consciously, subconsciously, she grows to resent him. She grows to be disgusted by him. She grows to hate him.
How do you know that, Daniel? Experience or just observation? How do you know all these kind of things?
This is how it works in 99% of cases, and that's
99% of cases. How many cases he was witnessed so that he can tell us, oh, in 99 cases, this is how it is? I don't know if it's just experiences of observing or experience of living. Don't know.
Kinds of Misyar marriages or no strings attached marriages, this is why they end up leading to hurt feelings, anger, divorce.
But that's Islamic.
Major conflict.
That's Islamic.
And children are sometimes involved.
It's all
children
Islamic.
Are left
you are just
either without a father who's in their lives.
So you are telling us Misyar marriage, which is Islamic, has lots of negative side effects, and then you can break those side effects down for us? Wow. I thought Islam was so perfect.
Other terrible situations that happen, and then
not bad
larger
situations, but terrible situations.
Because you have this practice of Misyar where people go from their country to another country, like a more impoverished country. They go to the local women of that country, and because they're coming from overseas, they might have more money, and the local women agree to marry these foreign men who have more money, the passport bros.
So that's examples in Indonesia. What Muslims are mainly from Arabia, they are traveling to Indonesia and then marrying these, having sex with those women under the marriage, paying them, and then once they finish their trip, and then they come back. it's great that Daniel is acknowledging that this is happening. I thought it was only for Arabia, but clearly he's acknowledging. So, and then there are clips are talking about how actually it is also practiced in how it is also practiced from Muslims in the state, from the state, as well as clearly Muslims in UK. Yeah, you travel to different part of the world. You travel in the different part of the world. While you are there, you are just gonna sleep around under the, and then pay the lady and then come back. And then he calls them as like passport bros. Yeah. Ibn Battuta of 21st centuries.
And they agree to a Misyar marriage, and then those men eventually divorce and they leave. And so what are those women left with? Not much. Maybe they became pregnant, maybe they have kids now and they're divorced. So this is why some scholars, some Islamic authorities said that this is not a permissible type of marriage because of the consequences. Not because it's invalid in and of itself, but because of the consequences that follow.
Did you pick that up? Only reason this might be unveiled because of the consequences, not because you are just involving with zina under the halal, labeled halal. Not only you are just doing prostitution, involved with prostitution, you are active on it, but like there is not moral thing. So reason it might seen as unveiled is application of it after the divorce. Why has it been going on in Islam for years, for decades, for centuries?
But at the end of the day, it is something that scholars have differed over. There is ikhtilaf on this. So let's say in the worst case scenario, let's take the case of this accuser of Muhammad.
So Misyar is okay. Only thing kind of might cause little bit problems is after the divorce. If there are kids, like who is gonna deal with those kind of things, you know? Just the practical side of it. Headache it might give to the man. Other than, yeah, this Misyar prostitution is absolutely fine.
Mohammed Hijab, she says that she...
Okay, livestock moment. Stop sharing the screen. Share the screen again. That's not the solution. Well, he went, he used AI. How come you're not happy with his AI? He's very sensitive soul. He should be able to like kind of speak on those very basic issues. But somehow he chooses to use AI. I really don't like when this happens, and I really don't know how to fix it. Like, really. Let's try again. So that's... I get stressed with when those kind of things happens. Like it's supposed to be like very simple, shouldn't have any technical issues. But I've been having those. Not only I've been having those technical issues, I haven't even been able to fix it. Annoying, very, very annoying.
Many women.
Okay, McDonald's nikah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out different ways of doing it. Actually, I tried this way before, but so.
User of Mohammed Hijab. She says that he married her. Let's say that her claims are correct. Her claims are 100% true. Is this really a scandal? Is this really a scandal then? Because this just would mean that Mohammed Hijab engaged in a Misyar marriage.
Okay, so one of the things Daniel Haqiqatjou is not picking up is Mohammed Hijab married her in the intention, not a Misyar marriage, she's going to become the second wife. As the time went on after the nikah, Mohammed Hijab wanted Misyar marriage, hotel sex. Condition of his Misyar marriage was hotel sex. Okay? They didn't start the marriage structure as this is going to be Misyar. That wasn't the case. Okay? Keep that in your mind because Haqiqatjou has been intentional to ignore that part. And of course, if someone says, oh, I am Misyar wife to Mr. X or Mr. A or Mr. B, we know that's Islamically okay. There's no problem with that. But in this occasion, like I'm just like, oh yeah, Islam is very ugly. This is what Islam does. But in this occasion, Mohammed Hijab married her as normal second wife. But soon after the nikah, remember there were text messages. Hijab was saying, oh, maybe I will tell people I was not satisfied with you. I will tell, do you want me to pass you to my Sheikh Mohammed of Speaker's Corner? Do you want hotel marriage with him? So after the nikah, Mohammed Hijab changed his mind and then said, this is going to be Misyar. This is just going to be sex in a hotel. Condition of the Misyar. That's how it is. I'm going to treat you as a prostitute because you are more suitable for this.
And whether the feminists like it or not, whether the simps like it or not, this is a valid opinion. This is a opinion that is found with reputable authorities. And it's something that has been practiced historically, traditionally, because you had Muslim travelers like Ibn Battuta. The famous Ibn Battuta who traveled throughout the Muslim world, he engaged in Misyar marriage and he documented it, his history. And there are many others who have practiced this historically. It's something that is in the Islamic tradition. And again, it's something that as a woman, you're not forced into it.
Listen this part very carefully.
It's not a coercive situation. You have the choice to accept this type of arrangement. And Islam gives you the freedom to make that choice.
I find this part is so amazing. Islam gives woman freedom of choice to choose whether she wants to be prostitute in a hotel or not. Yeah. Don't you love? Islam is the religion like gives you such a freedom. Yeah. Islam gives you choice. She was not forced into it. He was not forced into it. It's a choice she made. Yeah, Islam is the religion of choice. Gives you choice to choose to be prostitute in a hotel for a few hours. I love the choices Islam gives, you know. It's like you turn up Marks and Spencer. Should I get hummus? Simple one or with pineapples or with chocolate or with other things. It's a choice. Islam gave her choice that she could choose with her own what do you call? She can make her own decision. Islam gives you choice. You make your own decision to become a prostitute in a hotel room to Mohammed Hijab or not. And this is Islamic. I love the choices Islam gives you.
So then if the consequences are not to your liking, you can't then say that, oh, well, that means this marriage is invalid, or that this person is a sleazebag, he is a fasiq, because he engaged in this type of marriage. You can't say that. You agreed to it. And in the case of someone who is a celebrity, who is one of these...
As I said, like, so important, something to keep in your mind. In the interpretation Daniel Haqiqatjou is putting forward is, she agreed into Misyar marriage and it is Islamic, it's no one else's business. And now, because she didn't like the consequences of it or application of it, she can't just say, oh, okay, this is wrong, or I've been abused. No. That's what is the argument he's putting forward. But in Aisha's testimony, Aisha is expressing, no, I didn't agree to Misyar marriage. I agreed that I will keep this secret from your first wife and we will build home together. In her mind, that she's setting up, even with her interview with Ali Dawah, she was like, oh no, we started with my family is involved, we involved with one another, not like 5 minutes in a hotel or 2 minutes in a hotel. So she never agreed to Misyar marriage, and when she find out she's being used as a prostitute under the label of Misyar marriage, she walked out of it. Therefore, she's exposing it. But Daniel Haqiqatjou is simply pointing out, wants to see from the perspective of, she made choice with her free will and she agreed it, and she shouldn't be crying about it. Yeah, she wasn't even paid. She wasn't even paid. There was nothing.
Public figures. He has fame, maybe he has fortune, maybe he has this notoriety. The fact of the matter is, many women want to be with a man like that. You think that there aren't many women who want to be with Mohammed Hijab and wouldn't be willing to forego some of their rights to be married to Mohammed Hijab, even as a second wife, even as a third wife, even as a fourth wife? There are plenty of women who would agree voluntarily to that type of arrangement, to a Misyar marriage where they're foregoing some of their rights. They say, yeah, sure, I will be a second wife, and you don't have to provide for me, or you don't have to spend as much time with me. You have your first wife. Just give me one weekend. Just give me this time, limited amount of time. Just give me a few nights. They're willing to do that. They're willing to do. Women, by their nature, many women are willing to get into that type of arrangement.
Mohammed Hijab is so awesome. And he's so famous. Lots of women would tell him, yeah, do Misyar with me. I have sex with you in a hotel just for the weekend, once a month, once a week. Because why? Because he's type of that man. Every woman wants him. Part-time stripper, fat. Yeah. Every woman like you think like women wouldn't do that? Women would do that. I know women very well, Daniel Haqiqatjou says. This is the parented mind of woman. You are famous. Yeah, let's have sex in a hotel. It won't be zina, so we just have like couple of minutes, couple of hours have sex, and then you go your own way. I'll go my own way. And I've got Sister L. Is that Sister L?
Hello.
Hi, sister. How are you?
Blessed by God. How are you?
Good. I am just listening, Daniel Haqiqatjou. where he's expressing how awesome Mohammed Hijab is. There are lots of Muslim women would want to have sex with him in hotel rooms at the weekends.
That's not creepy at all.
I was just thinking as you said that, like, how does he know that? But anyway, so I'm just going through Daniel Haqiqatjou's video on Mohammed Hijab and Aisha's scandal. He doesn't think that's a scandal, but
I mean, it's pretty Islamic, like, in a lot of ways. It's not all that scandalous compared to some of the things that he's taught himself. I mean, Aisha is over 9, right? She's over 2, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, he little bit earlier he pointed out that this is all Islamic. Like, why is Aisha crying about it? Just keep it to yourself. You are a victim. Just keep it to yourself.
yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's like, yeah, that's exactly why it's tragic, because Islam is tragic. Islam is not for men.
Okay, is it me? Is it me? Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick sound check because your sound is cutting off.
Oh,
okay, go ahead again. You try again.
Sorry, I was just saying, yes, this is on one hand very Islamic, but on the other hand, that's exactly why it's tragic, because Islam is tragic. It's not set up to be beneficial for women. It's very harmful for women. It's even very harmful for men. It's harmful for everyone, for their bodies and for their souls. It's not to serve God, not the true God, and in depriving us of fulfilling our greatest purposes to God and to each other, it just ends up harming everyone, even if we don't realize it. But hopefully we help everybody realize it, because it's bad.
Yeah, it hasn't been good couple of weeks for Muslim women. Actually, it looks like it hasn't been couple of centuries, good centuries for Muslim women. It's just all messed up, but it's just coming and being exposed now.
Yeah, even for Aisha, it sounds like this has been happening for years behind the scenes. But yeah, ever since Islam's conception.
Yeah, it's been going on with Aisha since 2021. Think about it, how long that is.
Sometimes it's the best option that they have. And you ask some of these women, you can survey, would you like to be the exclusive monogamous wife of a janitor or the second wife of a movie star, a celebrity, a wealthy celebrity, a tall, dark and handsome celebrity who only spends 5% of his time with you? His 5% of his available time he spends with you, 95% with his other wife or wives. Would you agree to, is that more preferable, or to be married to the janitor? And many women will admit that they prefer the celebrity.
So I find strange that none of those women that it seems that Haqiqatjou has experience with are asking, oh, tell me the character of the celebrity, tell me the character of janitor. No one's asking about the character. It's just like, yeah, many women would sign up for this celebrity who they can meet and have sex in a hotel room secretly.
Yeah, I was going to say, this seems so shallow, and like, what kind of women are being told? Because I don't think many women would be happy. I don't think most women would be happy having a husband who only spends 5% of his time with you and like has a bunch of other women that he cares about and any of this. Like, okay, who cares if they're handsome? Okay, well, he didn't say the janitor's not handsome either, but even if he's not, even if he's like got nothing physically attractive about him, that's not the point of marriage. That's not the point of a relationship.
Well, I'm assuming that he is talking with his experiences with Muslim women, heard or experienced or observed. So that is what Muslim women are looking for. Tall, dark,
So,
celebrity. Sorry?
Sorry, I think I was breaking up again. I was gonna say, Hatun, I know that you've said in the past, like sometimes like words, you know, are a little bit different here and there. The slight words have slight differences. You keep saying women he's experienced with. I'm not sure that underage girls are typically called women.
In his mind, yeah. they've got vagina, they meet with the criteria of woman, yeah. Disturbing. So what you learn is ways to get married. If you are looking to get married, so you ask the question, is he famous, tall, dark, and handsome? And you can marry with that person only have sex with that person once a week, and then that's labeled as marriage. Apparently, like I was disturbed to hear Haqiqatjou telling us from his experiences, he knows lots of people would be up for it.
That's your preference. You're the one who agreed, or you're the one who pursued this celebrity. And when it didn't work out, because that's the thing that a lot of these women have in mind. They think that I just want to get my foot in the door, because if I agree to be a second wife, and I agree to have that one weekend per month with this celebrity, he's going to fall in love with me, and he's going to become infatuated with me, and he's going to dump his first wife. And I'm going to become his whole world. That's the kind of thought process that the women have. So they roll the dice. They take the risk. Okay? And it's not really a risk. They don't psychologically perceive it as a risk. They think it's a done deal. Of course, he's going to love me more than he loves anyone else. Of course. And then when he doesn't love you and put you on that pedestal, oh, then he's abusive. He hasn't fulfilled his promises. No, he hasn't fulfilled the promises that you had in your head for your own future. And that's why you're so angry. That's why you feel so cheated. You thought again, I'm not talking about this Muslim sister or Mohammed Hijab. I'm just speaking theoretically about women's psychology. In many cases, their emotions that they feel are like a reality to them. The feelings.
One of the things I find is disturbing as he's describing the mindset of Muslim woman, because all I'm putting together, like, probably for sure this is Muslim woman, that he's laughing at it. He thinks it's funny. Like, how can that be funny?
Well, not only that, but in this, he's admitting that these women actually desire and long for love. And that is not something that we find in Islam, as far as actually love, real love. That's something that we find in our Creator, in Christ Jesus, who is love, and who sets up guidelines for how we should love each other, and how love should be modeled by representing it in his own incarnation, and in everything about what he does and how he is and who he is. But in Islam, yeah, he's admitting that this is still what these women want, but showing that they are unfulfilled in these marriages, and that they're not actually healthy marriages, because the woman will always want more.
Like, I love the way he says, like, they are just trying to put their foot on the door. Like, okay, just give me the contract, make the nikah, and then I will make you to mine for forever, and then that doesn't work. And at that occasion, you are not victim.
Are the reality. Facts don't care about your feelings, but in the woman's minds, in the minds of many women, their feelings are facts. So when in her mind, she feels like, oh, we're going to have this beautiful future together. She's fantasizing and imagining, oh, I'm going to be with this celebrity and we're going to travel the world and I'm going to be his wife and he's going to be so devoted to me. Everything has been played out in their minds. When that reality doesn't come to fruition, they feel like, oh, promises were broken. Promises were not fulfilled. I was cheated. I was abused. Now I'm questioning my aqidah. My Islam is now in question. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. And there's a common trope about women being influenced by Hollywood, by these romantic movies and romantic stories of your Prince Charming coming and sweeping you off your feet and living happily ever after. And then you get into marriage and it's difficult. There is conflict. There's
Mohammed Hijab came and then they saved her. What is the phrase he used?
Facts don't care about your feelings, or
no, charming prince who
Prince Charming.
Yeah, Prince Charming who kind of takes you off your feet. And then after he did that, Mohammed Hijab told her, oh yeah, I'm gonna just have sex with you in a hotel. Yeah, and then she was disappointed. Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, he's saying, she thinks that these promises have been broken because, she had an idea of what she wanted. Or how about this? How about the promises were broken?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe expectations weren't the same as what she thought they'd be. I have no doubt that expectations were not what she thought they'd be. However, that doesn't nullify the promises either. If there were real promises made that were broken,
yeah,
that's still a thing.
She said already, like, she entered as she's gonna be the second wife who is not gonna tell the first wife that she's second wife, but they are gonna start proper life. And that promise is broken. Not only he swept her from her feet, but he just dropped her from the plane, 30,000 feet.
Responsibilities, and I have to actually meet my end of the bargain. And this is how dissatisfaction in marriage creeps up. And if a woman is smart, she realizes that, well, I was just deluded and my expectations were all incorrect, and I have to reform my expectations to make this marriage work. Other women who are not smart, or who are not mature enough, they think that they're the victims. They have been abused. He didn't meet my storybook Hollywood expectations of marriage. Therefore, he's an abuser. He's taking advantage of me. He hasn't fulfilled his promises to me. And then they push for divorce. They create this messy, disgusting situation where a family is destroyed.
Yeah, woman does that.
Many such cases, right?
Woman does that. Just make sure everyone picked up. That's like what woman does.
Many such cases. And if you're married or you're divorced or you're older than 30 years old, if you yourself haven't experienced something like this, then you know a lot of people who have. So what really is the situation? Like, let's take this Muslim woman's claims at face value and say, okay, fine. There was a marriage. There was a marriage. It was clearly a Misyar marriage. It was some kind of Misyar marriage. You agreed to be a second wife. Clearly, you're getting a lot out of it. Why would a celebrity want to marry you, who is a divorcee, with a child, and you're in your 30s?
Why would anyone would want to marry you, especially the celebrity? You are divorced with a child in your 30s. Oh, you are not 4 years old. You are not 6 years old. You are not 9 years old. You are not 16 years old virgin. Why would they want you at the first place? You don't even deserve anyone to look at you. So this is Islam, okay? Did you pick that up? In Islam, as you get older, your value just like drops, like stock markets.
Yeah, this is pretty sad.
Okay.
Hmm?
I was just saying, yeah, this is pretty sad.
This is when they look at their like single Muslim sisters, divorced Muslim sisters. That's the way they look at them. You are nothing. You are nobody. You are just another tool.
Meanwhile, the Bible talks about how beauty fades, like visually, but how, you know, when you love the Lord, that doesn't. And so it shows the emphasis on what really matters, where the value actually is. Not that like even people over 30 are automatically unattractive or anything like that, even. Like that's kind of a wild, like, oh yeah, you're old at 30, which I guess, yeah, if you start at like 3, I guess you're pretty old at 30. But yeah, the value is just all off because it's, again, not supposed to be about that.
Just a quick side point. All the virgins in Islamic paradise, they are going to be in their 30s. And Daniel Haqiqatjou thinks 30 is too old. And plus, if you are divorced with a child, it's like, you have no value. Just like, therefore, I can do to you whatever you want. Like, don't you know your place? Don't you know your place? You should be so lucky Mohammed Hijab wanted you. That's like what he's saying.
So you're not, you know, if it were some like 16-year-old, 17-year-old virgin, that's a different situation, or that's something where
like, why are you laughing? It's not funny. Like, what is that?
That's, yeah, why are you like saying that a 6-year-old is better than a 30-year-old?
Marriageability or your marital value on the marriage marketplace is much higher if you're a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old virgin. This is your first marriage, but no, you're divorced, and women hate to acknowledge this reality, but it's true. You are divorced, you're in your 30s, and it doesn't matter what other qualities that you have. Like, this is a fact. So his marriage ability or his value on the marriage marketplace is much, much higher than yours.
Marriage market. Keep that in your mind. Marriage market. So you can't even enter the market with a normal value if you are divorced in your 30s with a child. But you are in very good place in the market, marriage market, if you are 16 or 17. Think about it. And virgin. I'm shocked that like he's not saying like 6 or 3 or 2, 4. 16, what is the perfect age? Perfect.
Yeah, well, another thing I'm wondering is, why doesn't this apply to Mohammed Hijab? Because Mohammed Hijab isn't some young dude. Mohammed Hijab isn't a virgin. So...
But he's so awesome. He's like fat, part-time stripper. Everyone wants to be with him. He doesn't need to run behind a woman. Women are running behind him.
Okay, but if everybody wanted to be with him, why is one of the only people that we know that has ever been with him out there proclaiming how awful it is? Kind of seems like not everybody wants to be with him.
It is her fault because she was not virgin and she's like in her 30s. She's got child and divorced. She just shut down and then praise Allah that she's lucky that Mohammed Hijab was willing to have sex with her in a hotel.
Yeah, that's not how I remember this at all.
No, that's what Haqiqatjou is saying. Marriage market. Like MNS.
That's a fact. He agrees to marry you, and it doesn't work out. Where's the scandal? Where is the terrible crime that has been committed? That's the question that I'm left with. Even if we say Mohammed Hijab, he agrees to this Misyar marriage, and he agrees to give you X, Y, or Z, and then it doesn't work out. For any number of reasons it could not work out. Maybe you didn't meet his expectations. Maybe you didn't fulfill something. How is this a scandal? This is just another he said, she said conflict that happen every day. This happens every day. Every single case of divorce is the same thing. He said, she said. He did not meet my expectations. He made promises that he did not fulfill. She made promises that she did not fulfill. She mistreated me. She caused fights. He didn't take out the trash.
He thinks that's funny. Yeah. So I don't know, like, why Islam does this to Muslims. It just doesn't make sense to me. He's still, this is not like marriage dispute. There is a disagreement within the marriage. This is woman who is being deceived that she's gonna be wife, but she finds out, no, I'm just gonna be prostitute in a hotel for him, and I don't want that. So this is not about like, oh, you didn't take the bin out, oh, you didn't hoover the floor, oh, you didn't do the dishes. This is nothing like that, Daniel Haqiqatjou. It is good to hear that you got lots of experiences, but this is not the experience your Muslim sister had. And I am so amazed to see that how you stand for those Muslim believers.
Also, it sounds like he's justifying all those other marriages he listed off because it's not a big deal. It's just normal. You just divorce somebody if they don't do the dishes. You just divorce somebody if they don't take out the trash. No big deal. Just like every other marriage. Oh, well, you're not actually allowed to live in a house. You're not actually going to be taken care of. You're not actually going to be given any of these things I told you I'd give you. You're not actually going to be like a real wife. You know, just like every other marriage. No worries. Like, what? That's not a normal marriage. That's not a healthy marriage. Nor is ending all those other marriages you listed off. Please don't divorce your husband or wife because they don't take out the trash. Seriously, this is so bad. It's heartbreaking.
Welcome to the world of Islam. Contract.
She didn't, dress up for me, whatever. Everyone has complaints. Everyone believes themselves to be mistreated, especially in these divorce cases. How is this a scandal?
People don't have any problem that a Muslim man is getting second wife. I don't have any problem with Muslim man having third or fourth wife. I don't have any problem Mr. Muslim to have 10th Misyar wife. I have no problem. I am stepping in because woman is expressing that she's being deceived. She didn't sign up for Misyar marriage, but at the end, Mohammed Hijab simply offered her Misyar marriage / prostitution in a hotel. So that's the problem. Go and have 4 wives. I know that's Islamic. Go and have 20 Misyar wives. I know that's Islamic. Scandal is not there. The problem is you deceived your own Muslim sister to justify your zina. That's how it is. You didn't want to be charged for zina. You deceived her. Yeah, apparently people get divorced because woman is not dressed up for her husband. Like, seriously? Yeah. She didn't put like her red niqab. Just like, this is how it is.
And our responsibility as Muslims in the world is to not create these don't make it into a scandalous situation. Take it for what it is. Okay, another scorned wife, another conflict, another marital dispute. Let's not make it into a scandal. Let's let people who can handle the situation, authorities who can handle, let them handle it. This is just another marital dispute. And it gets very ugly about Mohammed Hijab. If you really want to challenge Mohammed Hijab on his views on marriage and the ahkam of marriage, do it publicly. Do it on the basis of his statements. Take his statements and write the PDF refutation. Make the video analyzing and bringing your dalil. Not on the basis.
Did you pick that up? Okay. You feel you are the victim. You feel he's done something wrong. Just write a PhD thesis. Put everything on PDF. Write a paper about it. Why are you sharing that with the world?
Oh, he's secretly a pervert, or he's secretly mistreating people secretly, or
He's doing
in his
this
private
public.
life. They would have a problem if.
Oh, that's I cut that out because what he was saying in that part, the part where you got David Wood's Twitter account, where he was saying like, oh, because she went public, she didn't put PDF files together, but she went public, therefore enemy of Islam is celebrating this and using this as a scandal, but there is nothing scandal here. So that's what he's saying.
Mohammed Hijab had even a second wife. They would have a problem if the age gap between Mohammed Hijab and his first wife was more than 5 years. They would have a...
No, because we know in Islam, age gap can be almost 50 years, 44 years, 46 years. We know this is what Islam teaches. We don't have a problem with it. We know this is Islam teaches, and we know people like you simply encourages this to be practiced. Problem is, you deceived your Muslim sister. Your Muslim brother deceived your Muslim sister. That's the problem. Of course, there are lots of other problems. You just like practice zina under the label of, yeah, this is Allah's divine will for us.
Problem with that. They would have a problem if Mohammed Hijab even had a second wife.
Not even,
and unfortunately, a large percentage of Muslims would also have a problem. That would also be a scandal. Imagine, like, if Mohammed Hijab or me, let's speak about me, like I come out and say, oh, here's my second wife. It's not a secret. It's my public. This is my public second wife. That would be a scandal. These people, all of this, these scum would call me a predator, would call me all kinds of misogynist, woman hater, etc., etc.
Keep this in your mind, okay? This might be he's prophesying something.
Yeah, real quick, I'm wondering why you would be a predator for having a wife unless there's something about that wife that makes you a predator.
Yeah,
that's very sketchy.
That's very sketchy. And other thing is, well, so just like I am leading the ways, okay, in coming months or in coming years, if you hear about my second child wife, don't be surprised. I told you, remember? 2nd May 2025, I told people, I prophesied about this is coming. It's the same thing what Mohammed Hijab did. But like back in 2023, he already set up the YouTube channel. And couple of months ago, when he find out, oh, she's going public, he put up a video and I said, oh, Twitter guy of Twitter is gonna come after me and accuse me with the moral things, all those kind of things. They're coming after me. And then he lead the way. And then now Haqiqatjou is like, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you hear that, like, okay, this is my baby wife. Don't be surprised. No worries. We know this is what Islam teaches. We think it is sick, but we know this is what Islam teaches, and we are not surprised. And if you think like, okay, if having those kind of relationships or sex life makes me pervert, that's like, yeah, keep away. I would say keep away from it, but you are already leading us to keep eye on what is going to come up about you. God knows who kind of took screenshot of your Zoom meetings and then is about to blackmail you with that.
It would be a scandal. Or if I said, or if I revealed, oh, my wife, Khalid, actually there is a big age gap. I married her when she was only 16 years old or 17 years old.
Red flag. Oh.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That would also be a huge scandal.
Real quick, is the whatever like 6 instead of 16? Is that what the whatever means? Or whatever. 16 or whatever.
Yeah. But like, so what we have is, this is Islamic, nothing to see here. Just I'm preparing you, like if I turn up with second wife who is only like 2 years old, I'm feeding her and then doing things to her. Don't be surprised. I told you back in May 2025.
Yeah, and it's those, evil haters that, try to make it seem like it's a bad thing that there's an age gap and that I'm a predator.
Yeah.
It's their fault, not mine.
Yeah. It's just that this is normal thing. Just like keep away from those evil people who will make me look bad.
Also be a huge scandal. I actually made this poll on Twitter. Oh, I said, look at this.
Look at the question.
Would you be scandalized if you found out that a popular Muslim speaker had married a second wife who was 16 years old? Almost 35% say yes, it's scandalous.
Because
so 1/3.
Why is that number
now,
not
obviously,
higher?
there are non-Muslims who are.
See what he's preparing, people. Famous Muslim speaker. Just getting a child, marrying a child.
At this point, at this point, I'd be highly surprised if he doesn't have a 16-year-old wife or a wife that he married at 16 or a wife who was younger than that. Legitimately based on that. That's sketchy.
He's just preparing the way,
responding to this. But, non-Muslims often pose as Muslims online. So when you see something as a scandal, something has been made into a scandal and all the comments are, oh, this is so scandalous, this is disgusting, many of those are non-Muslims too. So it's relevant that the audience, the overall online audience, 35%, and these are my audience mainly, and that my audience is mainly Muslims, are not going to have a problem with second wives. Nonetheless, over 1/3 would find it scandalous for a Muslim speaker to have a second wife who is younger, 16 years old, even though there's nothing wrong Islamically. There's nothing impermissible. There's no ikhtilaf that this is allowed, that this is perfectly halal. It would still be scandalous. So this is why I'm saying, like, if even what this Muslim woman accusing Mohammed Hijab, if everything that she accused of him were true, that it was a Misyar marriage, what's the scandal? We're talking in context of an audience where they even think polygyny in and of itself, having a second wife in and of itself, is a scandal. Or what if I told you that a Muslim man, he has a wife and his desires are not satisfied by that one wife. So because of his desire, he marries a second wife. Because of his...
Who is this Muslim man you are telling us, Daniel?
desires. Are you scandalized by that? The reality is many Muslims, unfortunately, are scandalized by that. Because the whole idea of men's sexuality is a scandal. The idea of men having sexual urges is a scandal. It's seen as something disgusting. It's seen as something that's perverse. Oh, brother, the only reason that you should get married is for deen, so that you can have someone to read Quran with. That's the only reason to get married. This.
And he thinks that's funny. As a Christian, we would say like, yeah, my first priority when I get married is a man or a woman who loves the Lord and willing to serve the Lord with me. You kind of go through like these doctoral checks, okay? And then, yeah, we read the Bible together in the morning. We do our devotions, all those kind of things for him. Reading the Quran with someone is apparently funny. He's laughing at it. No, my first intention for the marriage is sex.
This is how some people think. This is how some Muslims think, because they've adopted a kind of Christian understanding of marriage and a Christian understanding of sexuality. This is not Islam. Islam recognizes that Allah has created men and women with these desires. And Allah has legislated the correct avenue to fulfill those desires. And part of the avenue that Allah has legislated is the ability to marry a second, a third, or a fourth wife, among other options. So this is something that,
of course, among other options is that Misyar and prostitution, all that, like meeting in a hotel room and having sex. See, Allah knew the heart of man, and Allah didn't give them any self-control or something called like being faithful to your wife. Allah just like, yeah, how many you want? How many you want from the marriage market? I'll just give them to you, and then under the label, you can get like side ones, such as prostitutes, such as under the Misyar, under the Muta, whichever is convenient. Just say the word.
is perfectly acknowledged within Islam. Muslims don't deny human nature. Muslims don't deny how Allah has created human beings. So why should it be a scandal? Excuse me. Like this is the most all of these scandals are simp scandals. Like you're only scandalized if you're a simp. If you're like a normal Muslim man, like the worst case is that Mohammed Hijab was married and he didn't fulfill some of his rights, some of her rights, in which case he should make good on that. But is it a scandal? Is it something that my faith is in question and now we have to cancel him? We have to cancel him because he's an immoral person? How? Why? That's in the worst case. That's taking her word for it at face value.
Many women.
So that's, what is it? It's still not scandalous, even though if you take her word for face value. Think about it. We still don't believe her, but even sake of the argument, if we believe in her, what we have? We've got something is being practiced by, someone is practicing the teachings of Islam, and then don't give attention. It's all fine. Those women they are just like bad anyway. Yeah. That is the Daniel Haqiqatjou's take on for Mohammed Hijab's hotel wife. So don't believe the woman. Woman should have kept quiet, but she didn't keep quiet. That's a problem. why this is affecting her faith. That's a problem. And nothing is done, nothing to see here. Why? Because this is all Islamic. No one needs to be shocked by it. That's the take on. So, did anyone picked up? There might be the case that this woman is being deceived. What should we do? What should we do about helping her? How can we change some of the things in Islam that values the single, values the divorced woman who's got children? Disturbing, but it is Islam. Paul, thank you very much for your generosity. I'm not good at cooking, but thank you.
No, you're cooking Islam.
Oh,
It's like an expression that means like destroying.
oh, got it. Got it.
So you're cooking.
Okay, got it. Anyway, what are your take-ons, Sister Al?
It's everything about this is just so disturbing and heartbreaking. Yeah, that's my take.
But it should encourage us to speak for those who doesn't have voice or whose voice is being taken. It should encourage us to go and then get rid of the ideology of Islam and replace that with the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So the phrases I heard, I find it was very disturbing, especially about this marriage marketing, all that kind of thing, seeing woman as someone who is in stock market. I find those things very, very disturbing. But as Haqiqatjou told us, this is all Islamic. This is all Islamic. I don't know if there was any other videos I wanted to show you or not, but I think that was kind of all up to date with the drama. Not a scandal. There is no scandal at all. But all that drama of how Mohammed Hijab is practicing Islam on his Muslim sisters. So,
Jesus is the solution. Islam is not. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, pay attention to Daniel Haqiqatjou, pay attention to
I keep eye on. See, thanks for reminding. You've got to keep eye on, okay? In a couple of months, someone might turn up a child with a dummy on her mouth. Oh, my husband didn't like me anymore. Keep eye on these things.
I'm fairly concerned that that Aisha's daughter is also in harm's way.
Yeah. I concern for her safety or their safety, well-being, their safety, as well as the emotional damage and all the negative attention she's getting. It must be difficult and stressful days, but in her videos she's expressing she doesn't see this as problem within Islam. She thinks someone simply abused the teachings of Islam. So we just need to find ways and help her to acknowledge that this is not someone is abusing the Islam, but this is the teachings of Islam.
Have you thought about reaching out to her specifically and asking her to come on and have a conversation?
She did send me, she did put a comment on my YouTube channel. In that, we said, why don't you email in? But she didn't get back to, So I am willing to give her a platform to speak and then ask her questions. But that would make her more discreditable and despicable in the eyes of Muslims. I don't think she would be up for such a thing.
I don't know. Last I heard, she was gonna wait for some Islamic organization to do something or other that they're not gonna do in her favor, Because
Yeah.
it is a problem with Islam, not with just Mohammed Hijab.
Yeah. So from the perspective of Islam, only case she can make is I was deceived into Misyar while my contract says it's normal marriage. But it doesn't look like she's got she will have any supporters, because at the end those judges are not going to look at the teachings of Islam. They're going to look at the fame of the individuals who are being put forward, and yeah, she's not going to get the things she's looking from those councils. I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you for jumping in, Sister Al.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yesterday we just like cut off. Suddenly video was terminated. And today we are back on the different live streams. So appreciate that you jumped in and kind of help us to see other face of Daniel Haqiqatjou. He was just lovely. Keep your kids away from him. Keep your 16 and 17 years old away from him too. And thank you very much everyone in the chat who joined us. By God's grace, probably we will see you on another live stream. Sister Al, once again, thank you very much, sister.
Thank you. God bless you guys.